All right, guys, we'll continue here. So just to review, we had our phosphate plus this nucleoside here. So we get cytidine, because that's what this is, 5 monophosphate. On carbon number 5, we have 1 phosphate, hence monophosphate. We're not going to call that. We're going to call that CMP. Simple, it's just easier. So here in the slide, you can see it's phosphate plus deoxyadenosine. That becomes deoxyadenosine 5 monophosphate, or D, lowercase d, AMP, for adenosine monophosphate. Here, number 3, phosphate plus adenosine, that's just AMP. It's not deoxy. So we have that. There's our difference there. And here's our two structures. Phosphate group, this is ribose. It's not deoxy. This is ribose right here because it's got the OH group. And this is adenosine. And then D, CMP. All right. And that's because it's the same structures we had up here. However, this OH group is gone, therefore it is deoxyribose. So naming nucleotides, like we're not gonna go too much into this, but we have ribonucleotides and deoxyribonucleotides. That should make some kind of sense. Little bit of info here. On page 799, there is a huge chart. All right. So go to page 799 in your book, and it's gonna give you all this information. I mean, you can read this. All right. So I don't want to like dump all this on you, but one of the things we do have to make sure that we understand, see, like here's our nucleoside, all right, nucleotide. So side would be like second, so there's only two things, monosaccharide and base, and then nucleotide, T, tri, three things, nucleoside plus phosphate, or monosaccharide, base, and phosphate. Anyways, DNA. DNA uses AGCT, whereas RNA uses AGCU. You need to remember that. That is going to be part of your test. All right. So you got to remember which bases go with which nucleotide. So please remember that. AGCT, that's DNA. AGCU, that's RNA. I mean, you've probably talked about it a lot. And the uracil that's in RNA, we don't have to worry about deoxy because it's not in DNA. And we're not going to really worry about it, but here's the structure. So there you go. All right. Slide 9, di and triphosphates. All right, this is, it sounds a little weird, but it's not. It's actually pretty easy. More phosphate groups can be added to the phosphorus area of a nucleotide. So here, this is adenosine. See, this is our nucleoside. There's two things, no big deal. There's our OH group. We have our mono 1 phosphate. There's one phosphate group. We can add a second phosphate group, and that's ADP, or adenosine diphosphate, or ATP, adenosine triphosphate. I cannot tell you how important this last one is going to be. It is going to be vital when we start talking about metabolism because ATP is our energy generating molecule. And so we are going to be talking about ATP a lot. All right. Now, you don't have to worry about thinking, oh, what's the structure? What's the structure? What you do need to understand about ATP is that T stands for tri. So there's 3 phosphate groups because we're going to be converting between ATP and ADP, and then ADP to ATP. And so what we're doing is we're adding or subtracting a phosphate group, and that's what you need to understand. All right. So it's not anything crazy, it's nothing bonkers, but that's what we need to understand. Here's some examples. I don't have the answer key, but you should be able to draw GMP, DGMP. These are going to be very, very similar. DAMP, which we kind of did before, and CMP. Okay. So as we move on down to slide 10. Now slide 10, you got to make sure I don't I pass it here. Okay, DNA and RNA are polymers of nucleotides. They're formed by joining the 3, see that 3 dash, OH group of one nucleotide. Okay, see here's my DCMP and my DAMP. So the 3 nucleotide, the 3 carbon. See that 1? You have 1, 2, 3. This guy, see that OH group right here? We're going to attach that OH group to the 5 phosphate group. So this OH is going to attach to this phosphorus. Got it? And so the way that we talk about nucleic acids, let me tell you, we talk about DNA, all right, is we identify the identity and order of bases distinguish one polynucleotide from another. So these bases right here. And what we're going to talk about is this is the 5 end of the chain, and this is the 3 end of the chain. And that is going to be something that we're going to talk about quite a lot.